going straight to you here. We can go side by side like this, make it a little
Okay.
cleaner. So I think we'll just go straight into your presentation. You've hinted at it, how automations around SMS, Messenger, and post-purchase experience. I honestly think this is 10% plus of revenue for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You tell me,
Yeah.
you know, but I think it can, and it's a real revenue booster. We were talking about optimizing for profit versus customers. It kind of does both. Depending on how you're situated, if it's increasing conversion rate, it's going to be it's going to give you more customers, which means that in January, when you're ready to sell them again, they're all there. All right, so I'm just ranting on that. Nick, if you want to share your screen, and I'll pass it over to you to show us.
Yeah, definitely. I know you hit the nail on the head there, Derek. Let me just enter full screen here.
Perfect.
Should be good.
There we
everyone
are.
See that?
Yes,
Great.
Perfect. All right, I'll let you take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Derek, for the introduction here, and thanks for inviting me. Love e-commerce tech. Thank you for all the panelists as well. It is great to speak with you guys right now and going back and forth. And ultimately, thanks to the attendees. I really appreciate you guys attending this presentation, and I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about Messenger and SMS in this crazy time in our lives. That is Q4 every year if you're in e-commerce. It's a really important channel and something to consider, especially because, you know, at the end of the day, marketing is all about getting your brand in someone's head. And if it's a stack of cards, if that's how your brain works, you know, you want to get to that top stack. You know, you're going to keep pushing down. You know, that's why Coke keeps advertising. They want to keep pushing Pepsi down at the bottom of the stack, right, and get in front. To do this, you got to be on places where your customers are at. So it's really important to think about adding channels like that. So I almost think of it as a necessity, kind of as Derek was saying. It's very important to consider a mobile strategy, especially because 80% plus traffic these days, it's ridiculous, is on mobile. We have these supercomputers in our pockets. And it's also new as well, and it's just going to keep growing. And in 2016, it was only about 60%. I mean, it's not too far away from 100 at this point. Another weird fact, and I know I'm rambling a bit, but I'll get right into this presentation. But in 2009, the Time magazine headline was "Who's going to stop the phone giant?" And they were talking about Nokia. That's a real thing, by the way. Check it out. So smartphones are also new. We're learning how to deal with this information in real time still today, and the average consumer gets about 350 notifications a day. It's a mess. It's tough to manage all these things. Now you got TikTok and all these things. So bottom line, in the sea of a million things you can do, one of the things that I really recommend if you're a merchant is getting and dipping your toes into that mobile strategy, because I guarantee you that is where your customers are at, and that is where they're looking. That's where they're looking on the phone. They're going to get a buzz. They're going to look. Anyways, I'm going to get right into it. So one of the first things I kind of wanted to introduce is this concept of like how a messenger trigger works. And then, so I'm going to get a little technical here, and then we can get into like actual use cases and things I recommend and so on. But first, this is important because I think it's important to understand what a messenger trigger is, and then how it actually works, and how this function actually marries your other two own channels or other own channel. If you only have email, how does that work? If you have email and SMS, how does that work if I fit these in? And again, I'm a big believer in getting all three channels down. And then the fourth channel is a mobile app. If you can send push notifications, I think that's another interesting thing. But I think that's kind of like secondary, tertiary, if you will. But anyways, let's get right into this. So a messenger trigger, just like email and just like SMS, when you opt in, that is me typing out my email or typing out my phone number into some pop-up or some form or something that the merchant's getting, ultimately so I could find out more information about that merchant, whether it is most of the time a discount code, right? We want a discount code, so I'm going to give you my information. If that's the ticket and that's what I get back, then I'm going to do that every time. I'm going to want to send money. So think about the same thing here. We need some kind of opt-in to kind of start this whole engine. Otherwise, it's futile. So pop-ups are the main thing. I was saying it a little bit earlier, you can have sticky discount box. So pop-up stays there, but then there's a little thing at the bottom left that kind of incentivizes you to explore and maybe get a deeper discount. It could be post-purchase checkout if you want information after you check out and you want to get some of the tracking and shipping notifications after that. There's a lot of different things that Messenger can do. It's an all-encompassing tool, but bottom line, we need some kind of trigger to get into that Messenger conversation, which is a conversation between the consumer and the brand. So instead of your friends or family and their profile picture that you're so used to and maybe haven't updated in a while, now it's going to be your brand logo communicating directly to the consumer. And the way you communicate to your friends and family with that brand logo is the same way you can do with the brand. So send audio, send video, send as many messages as you want, put PDFs, put links to recipes, to your customer service, which auto syncs with Gorgias. Shameless plug there. Anyways, so think about that. So any kind of Messenger trigger, some kind of incentive, we just want to get this conversation started. And I'm going to always shoot for the pop-up, but I understand if you're already married to your welcome pop-up, there's a lot of other things you can do. Facebook ads, comment to Messenger, post-purchase checkout, the sticky discount box. Regardless, it's a trigger that is getting us into this conversation. So now, after I've done that trigger, I'm talking to BlendJet right now. BlendJet will say, hey, Andrew, you're seconds away from getting 20% off your BlendJet, unlock discount. I just have to tap that. I actually don't have to write out unlock discount. This is just a tap. But that tap, which shows a response from me to BlendJet, is my opt-in. That is me giving my what's called a Facebook PSID over to BlendJet, which is my consent for BlendJet to retarget me in the future with what's called a sponsored message campaign, equivalent to an SMS campaign, equivalent to an email campaign. And then Facebook PSID is the equivalent of a phone number or an email. So I'm opted in here. And as I was saying earlier, there's so many times where I actually have truly the intent to purchase a product, but the notifications these days and the amount of information I'm receiving, it's a lot to process. So one of the cool things about this is even if I leave right now, it doesn't matter. I just have to tap one button. I'm already tied to this brand. They can retarget me by Black Friday. They can retarget me tomorrow. You have to wait at least 24 hours, but that's just something pretty special. I think is a singular tap could get you tied to a brand. And if I truly had the intent to purchase and I forgot because of the swarm of notifications, then this is a good way to stay attached to that brand so I can get information. Then we can take it to the next level. So how can we capitalize on this? Let's get another own channel. Why don't we get the phone number? So please confirm your phone number to proceed. So since Facebook did two-factor authentication, everyone has a phone number and email attached to their account. So we're able to auto-populate in the Messenger chat that owned channel. And 99% of the time, your Facebook phone number and your Facebook email are the ones you're going to give out like candy to everybody. So when we ask for that and it auto-populates, all you have to do is tap it once. So this is 2 taps. Not to be confused with how long this usually would take, about 10 taps, right, to write out that number. 2 taps, 2 owned channels. You're going to give them value in this discount code. And then if have item to cart in 3 hours is false, have item to cart is false, then in 3 hours, then let's send this follow-up. And this is a 90% open rate follow-up that you can cater and do any kind of messaging you'd like. Facebook allows you within a 24-hour period to send a free message, but it can't go beyond 24 hours. But definitely take advantage of this. It's a free campaign. I think we all know SMS campaigns cost a lot of money. So if you can send a free 90% open rate message that isn't just a simple poke, this is a call to action. This is connecting to our customer service, and this is connecting to our content to maybe drive inspiration for a purchase. Heck, we can have a video here. It says click this to go to our YouTube channel to see. I think BlendJet just took their product to space or something like that. They sent in a rocket. It was like a big PR stunt. Something like that. Put another video to see how we're giving back this Black Friday. I mean, you get the idea. There's a lot you can do with this platform because it all operates over Wi-Fi. So communicate with your customer what you want them, to see out of your brand, because it is entirely possible in this. It's like you're texting on iMessage or something like that. So another interesting way to do this is comment to Messenger. So this is an interesting way to boost your social engagement before Black Friday. Again, let's just step away from the websites. You're married to your channels. You don't want to add anything that disrupts the website right now in such an important time. That's fine. Again, I'm going to challenge you to reconsider that. But just in case you really, really don't want to do anything, this is definitely, there's no excuse for this one. If you have a powerful Facebook presence already, you're constantly posting and introducing and sending messages to your community that likes you already. So why not take that to the next level, especially if it's just a post and it's something you're doing already? Why don't we turn a comment into something that captures 3 owned channels and gives them value while also creating social proof from one comment? So this is a Facebook post right here. I'm just going to zoom in so make sure everyone can see it. It's a fake post, but the idea is comment below in the description to enter into our giveaway. You have to comment below. Kitty will comment. She'll get a message saying, thanks so much for entering to our giveaway. Please give us your email. It automatically appears. You just have to tap it once. That'll send to Clavio, for example, with first name, last name, gender, location, and time zone. I always joke because Facebook doesn't care about privacy. They'll give you tons of information when you capture your own channels on Messenger. And it's true. It's funny because that's where we're in this data Sahara, if you will. It's all because of Facebook and Apple, but they're true to their word. They will keep giving you a lot of information. So good for marketers, maybe a little interesting from a consumer point of view, but great for marketers. You get all this information on that one tap and opt-in. I guarantee you do not get that from just typing out your email in a pop-up. So again, that's first name, last name, gender, location, and time zone with one tap. So less friction, better data. Thanks so much. Please give us your phone number for this second entry. Automatically appears, taps it, syncs to your providers. Recart also offers SMS, but we have a lot of other integrations. Omnisend, PostScript, Attentive, SMS bump. And then you're going to give them value in that. Thanks so much. Would you like to share this or have another friend comment? They're going to see that comment. You get the idea. We're creating value out of channels that previously were, untapped, right? We're turning this post into this engine. And think about, and another thing to really think about while you're capturing these own channels, and I'll pivot away from capturing own channels in a second. I know I've been talking a lot about this, but think about the customer lifetime value that's associated to these channels. I know it doesn't seem like much, but this is actually making you money. You got to assign a dollar amount to this because these actually, this gives you revenue. This is 3 Band-Aids from 2 taps that a customer would have to rip off to get completely away from your brand, all from one Facebook comment, which is also giving them value and giveaway. So if you're too worried about adding an extra own channel right before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I would definitely reconsider, because there's a lot of interesting ways you can engage with your community, educate with them. And of course, now we can send them campaigns, not just on an email blast. Again, it's that card, right? We want to get to the front of that stack. The best way we can do that is by, like what Coke does. They show up on billboards. They're everywhere as QR codes, every restaurant. Be everywhere as well, as much as you can. Be on your social media platform, engage with them, hit them on Messenger, hit them on SMS, hit them on email. Of course, dose it so you're not annoying them, and I'll get into that in a second as well. But think about this. Just gonna quickly check on time. So here's another example of an opt-in channels is a welcome pop-up. And this is what I was explaining earlier, how your email or phone number automatically appears. And this is how it looks. And then you just have to tap it once to confirm it. And again, that'll send the first name, last name, gender, location, time zone. Pop-ups, when we have that again, you have the time zone. That's powerful. You can address them by the first or last name. You get the gender field as well. So if you have a fashion brand that sends men's and women's clothing, that's obviously very powerful. Now you can have very powerful segmentation on your email or SMS lists. But this is kind of the pop-up. This is the one I recommend the most, of course, but I get if you're already married to your pop-up. But let me show you now what's the point of all this? Yeah, we're having conversations with people on Facebook Messenger, but for what reason besides playing into our other own channels and maybe explaining a little bit more about our brand? Well, ultimately, this is the main reason, or one of the main reasons. At least 50% of it is because now you can send blasts and communicative exchanges out of nowhere directly in an inbox to your customer. Here's an example. So this is my Facebook. I blurred out the pictures here, but this is friends and family profiles, and then a brand is messaging me. I'm having a conversation with this brand. I opted in before, but now BlendJet can send me Valentine's Day set of promotions. If I'm not going to answer, it doesn't matter. The thread continues. They're going to keep sending me messages until, of course, I opt out or something like that. So, but you can see how powerful this is. I'm getting communication out of nowhere from a brand that I can click and go to check their profile. That I can also type and say, hey, I need help. And my friends or family here. And we're going to have Instagram and WhatsApp capability soon, but that is up to Facebook. One of the downsides of this, the having an owned channel on Facebook is, you're kind of at the will of Facebook, whereas SMS and email, they're truly owned channels. So I've been saying this has been coming out for about almost a year now because they keep pushing it back every quarter. This time, apparently, it's coming out Q1. So look forward to that. You'll be able to send DMs on Instagram, slide into those DMs, if you will, and WhatsApp communication as well, just like this. And again, as I was saying earlier, have those conversations. The more we can learn about the brand and talk to the brand, is the more we're going to think about it because they're going to ping us, right? We're going to get to that front stack again. But we're also going to get help, and that's something that we appreciate. The most important things in e-commerce are customer service and ship time, by far, especially if it's a first-time order. And I know we talked a little bit about the ship time and all that, but make sure your customer service is conveying that. Make sure you're having conversations. If I got this blast and then I say, hi, I need help with a question, this is a real screenshot. BlendJet reached out to me within a few hours asking me if I needed any help. But look right above, it was a blast, and I didn't respond, and they sent me another blast. But this could have been anything, and it's a great way to have a two-way street. And ultimately, conversational commerce is the way that we're heading right now too. So quickly, I'm going to get into how to marry. I'm sorry, I'm trying to undo my Zoom there. There you go. How are we going to marry these channels? If I'm already doing SMS. And email, I just figured out how to do that. Like, where does Messenger come into the equation? There's a lot of different ways to do this, and with all-encompassing marketing channels, we're just scratching 1% of the use cases, especially since other channels are coming into play, and we're all figuring out how these works. And we're in the golden age of e-com after all. But with that being said, there's still a lot of strategies and interesting ways to figure out how these all interact and work together. So, I don't want to say take this with a grain of salt, but I still think we have so many cool ways to have these channels merge into each other. Some of the cool ones that we have found so far over at Recart is, for example, having a pop-up show only to people inside the US for SMS marketing, because SMS marketing outside the US is very expensive. But you don't want to turn away that mobile side of your communication necessarily. So why don't we show a messenger a pop-up that only appears to people outside the US and Canada. This way, you're retaining a mobile strategy no matter what. You're either inside the US and Canada or you're outside the US and Canada. You can get communication on both sides without breaking the bank. And these are two separate lists, so you don't really have to worry about the cross-pollination there, about annoying them on two different channels. Let's just say we went another route, and this is kind of like what I'm saying right here and what I said a little bit earlier on our panel discussion. What if we do the route where we capture all 3 owned channels, or like that comment to Messenger I was showing where we captured all 3 owned channels? That is Facebook, Facebook Messenger, email, and SMS. What should we do there? And what's another good way to do it? So just to reiterate there, if you dangle a carrot saying get 10% off, discount will be locked in Facebook Messenger, on that welcome pop-up I showed you guys a moment ago, your email appeared for 10% off. We can tap to confirm that. It'll give us the email and say, hey, great, thanks. Do you want 5% more? Please give us your phone number. That'll automatically appear. Customer will tap once to get 5% more. They will, especially if it's a pretty expensive product, and 5% is pretty significant. Obviously, if the product's maybe like $20, that could be a whole different story. But 5% could go a long way, especially when people are always trying to bargain for deals here. So if you have all these owned channels at once, how can you manage that? So email is always the anchor. Don't even look at SMS or Messenger if you don't have your email marketing strategy down. Focus on that. Have great sequences, welcome sequences. Have your abandoned cart, your post-purchase checkout. Have all that nailed on email. See what works there the most, and then kind of like apply those blueprints from there. Depending, obviously not one size fits all here. So. But apply the blueprints there and then add on SMS. That would be my next recommendation. Add on SMS, start to get your mobile strategy down, where your customers are looking, what kind of communication they like. Then tack on Messenger. Then if you have all 3 owned channels, they're both on the mobile messaging channels. I wouldn't say message them both in one day. Definitely do one every week, but on Black Friday, I think customers are definitely expecting to get messaged by you. So why not do one on Black Friday, a text message, a messenger campaign on Saturday, a text message again on Sunday, and a messenger campaign on Monday. I think that's a little bit more of an extreme use case because it's a very special weekend. But any other week, I would say week 1, SMS campaign, messenger campaign week 2, week 3, SMS campaign. Email is going throughout all this, and that's a really strong way to marry. Again, we're just scratching the surface here, so I'm excited to see where this will go. So I'm going to finish up quickly here. Of course, we're going to send this communication, and we're going to generate lifetime value across all of our channels. So this is what a text message campaign looks like, and then we're going to send Facebook message campaigns as well. And then what is some of the overall success and growth look like here? Sponsored messages, 8 to 60x return on ad spend. So besides your monthly fee for whatever messenger platform you're using, I'm going to obviously recommend Recart. Sponsored messages is the only thing that actually costs money. You're paying that directly to Facebook. It costs $0.015, which is roughly the same cost as an SMS campaign or an SMS message. So the return on ad spend is ridiculous because it's a very cheap price to show up in a very powerful and socially relevant area for the customer with a call to action. The return on ad spend, this is a real return on ad spend. I haven't seen anything less than 8x. Seriously, it's really crazy. So just zooming in on the money side of things, sponsored messages make a crap ton of money. Of course, we're also getting more channels and we're opening up conversations with the customer, but really consider the money side of sponsored messages. And then 20x average return on ROI across basically your entire messenger spend. That's what we're seeing over here at Recart. You're going to get cheaper acquisition. As you saw how easy it was to plug and play all your own channels in a very quick and efficient way with a lot of data. So you're going to get a lot more own channels in a quicker way. And then on average, we see 10.5% revenue increase, which is pretty absurd. That's total revenue increase. So that's with using a good messenger mobile strategy. And of course, adding SMS as well. So this is more or less a little bit of a prettier version of what I just showed, but ultimately we're going to have more conversations with customers. And then, this is kind of the shameless plug offer for everyone watching today. But this is my presentation. Thank you so much for watching. This is an offer that, again, if you're a little bit nervous on trying an SMS or a messenger strategy and marrying the two, I'm going to say let us do it for you. Let us explore that. We have a 2-week fully paid trial, and we'll introduce the concepts of this mobile messaging marriage, and then execute on that as well for you. To do that, just go to recart.com, and I'll put it in the chat, but it's book-a-demo. We just changed our website, so this is the wrong site. I apologize. Check out the new site, by the way. We just redesigned it also a couple days ago. And then let us know you're from this, and we'll be happy to cash in this ticket. But that's it. Yeah, today.
I love it. Yeah, I think that's absolutely huge. It's tough to say no. You're basically saying we'll get you set up and make you money long before you'll even have to think about paying a small fraction of that back to us. So I love when technology providers like yourself are able to prove ROI before asking for a single dollar. And I really appreciate this offer. I think it's perfect, and it's tough to beat. So thanks so much, Nick. We'll be sure to include the right link for everybody in the show notes. So if you're watching, the show notes should be below me in the video that you're watching somewhere. Well, I can't actually point down. Somewhere down below, you should see a link to the show notes, but it'll also be in the comments section. If you go down to the comment section there and find it, I'll go ahead and post it one more time, make sure that it's up there and relevant. Perfect, Nick. Thank you so much for walking us through the ins and outs of Messenger and SMS. And I think we've got clear next steps on making sure that the very least, if you're using another tool or you can do this in some ways. No, you can't really do this by hand, but you need a tool to do it. But you have to have these sequences set up before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Really important. I really love the opt-in process that you walked us through, the pop-up and capturing that information. Thanks again. All right.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. See you, Derek. Take care. Thank you.